All right, Nitin. Welcome to the Sunday draft.
Yes, thank you. Glad to be
After
back.
you're going to be back every week, is what you promised me last time.
Yeah. Wait, okay.
You remember that, right?
I don't know. Yes.
It is. I mean, I have a record of it because I recorded it. You
I can take
can't
it to court.
deny. Okay,
And I can take it to court. Yeah.
I can
Sure,
take
you
you to
can.
court.
He told me he was going to be there every bloody week. Why? Why he did not come? Yeah, okay.
Okay,
We should edit that.
I'm not editing anything. I told you last time. Nothing gets edited out. Especially if you do some
Okay.
monkey business, that is gold.
Gold.
People people then don't look at me, they look at you. So
Yeah.
that's a win for me. Right? Like I don't want.
Right.
All right. So anyway, you are in France. No, you're not in France. You're in
I'm not in
Germany.
France.
Sorry, why? You know
Why did
where
you
you
think I was in
Frankfurt.
France?
You're in Frankfurt, France. Also,
Yeah.
Frankfurt. You're in Frankfurt. Um, and you're heading back this weekend or next?
This
Sorry,
yeah,
this
the
is the
coming
weekend. You're
weekend.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think I'll be home by the 21st in Pune.
Hmm. Pune. All right. Lots happening in Pune while you left.
Yeah, I think so.
Not at home.
No, not at
Generally in
home.
Pune.
This the
Okay.
city, yeah, the city is
The
yeah,
city.
interesting
We
stuff.
saw some protests. Some protests were happening.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, it first
So
started in Delhi, I think, right? That I
yeah,
think you're talking about the same
infested
protest.
cities infested with cockroaches.
Cockroaches. Yes, they
So
are, and it seems to be the thing to be right now. I don't know.
yeah, I want to talk about that today. So that's when this. But before that, right? Cockroaches. You and I have a very personal relationship with cockroaches.
You know?
We grew up in the Middle East.
Yes, yes,
We grew up in the Middle East, and I think this was when my wife and
piff
I
paff.
went to Piff Paff. Not hit what
Not yet.
that they use. We had the original product, Piff Paff.
Yes, the piff paff.
Kill those cockroaches.
Yes.
And we used to go, like, we almost died spraying those in our bathrooms, right? Because
Yeah. Chemical warfare on a different level.
for those who don't know about living in the Middle East or growing up in the Middle East, like two of us who grew up in the Middle East as non-resident Indians with our expat parents who went to the Middle East early on. So the
Yeah.
80s and the 90s, we were there. But it was when I took my wife to Dubai, I think somewhere the last 15 years or so, and I think it was the first trip to Dubai.
Yeah.
And then two things that kind of
Stood
surprised
out.
her, stood
Okay.
out. One was even in peak summer, and I think even turn on the taps, hot water comes out.
Hot
There's
water.
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's no
you bathe in
undoing that.
there's no undoing that, and I kind of I loved it. Like I don't know about you, but I
Same here.
used to it was like my own personal sauna,
Oh
like
no.
steam,
All year round.
and those who wanted cold water, they would actually fill the tubs with water all day long,
Yeah.
so it gets cold. You remember that? We used to do that. My
Yeah.
mom
Or
and
wait
dad
till
used to do that.
winter.
Wait till winter when it's really cold.
Really cold.
And then there's, did we have water heaters, right?
We had geysers. Yeah, we had geysers.
If you're rich enough, you
The
had some
big
geysers.
ones. That's like, huh?
If you were rich enough, you had
Yeah,
some
we
geysers.
had geysers. We gradually became rich. Let's just keep it that way.
That was that was fond memories. But that was one. The second thing, she was like, she ran out of the bathroom because cockroaches coming out of the drains,
Drains.
and wherever, like all the nooks and corners, like cockroaches coming out, right? And this is a thing in the Gulf. You go to the Gulf, you'll see it. No matter whether you're rich or poor or in the middle, um, cockroaches have to get away from that heat. So I think they
Yeah.
find those sources. So, which is why the first thing you buy is Piff Paff
Piff Paff.
before you get
We're giving
anything
enough.
else.
I think we're giving enough publicity for Piff Paff.
Publicity.
I don't. I don't know if it still exists though.
I don't know if it exists. Does Piff Paff exist? Look it up. I don't know. I don't think they have anything for cockroaches here. I mean, we hardly see any
They're
cockroaches
the
in the US.
most. They're the most resilient of the insect species right now. I mean, not right now, but for a bit. So even radiation doesn't kill them, supposedly.
Yeah, which is why the Cockroach Janta Party took that name.
Resilience.
Which resilience? That's a
So that's one way of
can't kill
saying
us.
that. The revolution will not sort of die down.
Yeah,
We're still out there.
yeah. You kill us, more will come out.
Yes.
Kill one of us, but then we'll morph into two.
So the last time something like this happened, it led to the creation of another party. I don't
Aam
know if
Aadmi.
you follow,
Aam Aadmi?
the
Yeah,
Delhi,
yeah.
So you remember Anna Hazare and everybody who had this entire thing against corruption, graft, farmers' rights, all of that took place. I think when this was around 2012, 2013 or something, which led to actually in one way the creation of the AAP, and another way gave the segue for the BJP to actually come into power also, because there was always that question that Congress was doing all this stuff and we are in such a bad situation and blah blah blah. Farmers protests were strong. So the second time the farmers protests happened, also I think something else happened around that time. So and this time it's not about farmers, it's about something else. And I don't know whether you have an idea of what that is.
I don't. I mean, with the CJP.
The CJP.
Well, I know what they've been talking about, and I've listened to the founder Abhijeet Dipke's interview a month ago, and then today, right? Because there's a protest, like we talked about. I mean, your hometown where you're going to land. You might want to land with one of those cards, like red or whatever book he held. So when Abhijeet Dipke came back to from US, he was in the US, and for those who don't know about Abhijeet Dipke, we talked about it a month ago on our podcast. But he's the founder of the party. We call it the party, but it's still a movement. It's not officially recognized as a party. They call it the Cockroach Janta Party, but it is just a movement right now, which, so this guy, a student in the US, saw something and trolled the Chief Justice of India, who made a remark calling all. Right. That's how it started.
He basically called it out, saying that they are unemployed youth like cockroaches. So
unemployed youth,
unemployed youth, but
Right. So it's one Chief Justice, right? One Chief Justice.
Yeah.
It's not like all of them. Like so, but he Surya Kant, Chief Justice of India, Surya Kant. His original remark on May 15th was, there are youngsters like cockroaches. They don't get any employment. They don't have any place in profession. Oh my God. He went on to say that some of these people become media figures, social media voices, or activists and start attacking everybody. He separately referred to such individuals as parasites of society.
Okay.
I mean, for a Chief Justice to say that, it is wrong, right? Even if he just meant it as in a context of saying, there's a lot of people who don't do anything, which is true. A lot of people don't do anything. Not just Gen Zs.
Yeah, but if it has, so him saying that is also an acceptance of the fact that you do have unemployed people in India who are seeking, better
Yeah.
terms, and
Yeah.
those better terms. I mean, when you put it into the so you take the education um, side of things, right? India every year, India, the number of graduates that come into the workforce, or rather, not into the workforce, they get pushed into the uh, possibilities of a workforce. They are
Mm.
in around, I think, around 50 lakh students or something. So that's like 5 million people. 5 million people coming into the workforce every year, and you
Wow.
have nothing as in terms of avenue for them. So the last time I heard a prime minister say that everybody should just begin tea shops, because that was the easiest thing to do on the streets, right? And it'll never go out of business. So I get that idea, but then you don't study 4 years of engineering and 6 years of 6 or 8 years of trying to become a doctor to go and set up a tea stall, right? I could do that right now. I mean, if I
Well,
was.
I personally would love a lot more tea stalls every year because I drink a lot of tea, right? So,
Yeah.
the first thing I do when I land in India is go to the nearest tea shop, like outside the airport. But
Right.
yeah, that is not a good thing for the prime minister to say. And I want, and especially in this age of, like we talked about last week about AI and disruption and lack of jobs, and even people like us are not sure whether we'll have a job tomorrow, right? It's so
Hmm.
iffy for everybody.
Yeah.
And to say that to people who are now just trying to get into jobs, like in India, like the 5 million kids who come out and
Yeah.
want to figure out where it's a very tough market. And as grounding that in comments like these, whether it is from the Chief Justice of India or the Indian Prime Minister saying start tea shops, it's not
Yeah.
helping.
It's not helpful. It's not a solution, because the world over, I mean, if you are supposed to be, and from an India standpoint, right, you have right now a lot more young people compared to the rest of the world also. So yeah, there is, and most of the other places in the world are looking at a labor shortage. So
Hmm.
now there's obviously that question that, okay, fine, if you're going to upskill India or these 5 million youth, then how soon will you be able to do that? So, no, so all of those things factor in, right? And obviously, when the Cockroach Janta Party comes out, and they're watching all of these scenarios unfurl in front of their eyes. So obviously, there is that question that, I mean, what are you guys doing in government, right? Where is my
Yeah.
policy change happening? What do I have to wait
Yeah.
for now?
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. So that's why there are protests happening. Like you're gonna again land in Pune, you got to figure out whether you need that red book or not with you. Um, that was Ambedkar's. I don't know, whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I saw that, because Abhijeet Dipke, exited the airport with that book.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I was wondering, what is this card? Is it like it's a red card? So I'm like, was he like customs officers pull them aside for something, give him a red card, and he brought more liquor into the country or something? I don't know. I thought, and then I just found out today that it was Ambedkar's some book. What was you looking it up? So I'll let you break that news.
yeah. My autobiography.
Yeah, autobiography. So it's a small book, and like it looked like a card. So he was obviously reading it in the flight, obviously long flight.
Oh, yeah.
But so Abhijeet Dipke again, the founder of CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, was studying in the US in Boston. He was
Hmm.
and when he was first interviewed, so he saw this comment, and then it was a satirical kind of movement. He quickly used, again, we talked about AI last time, vibe coding to its best. Vibe
Hmm.
coded the website, which is the website that they have right now, cockroachjantaparty.org, I think.
Yeah.
And he just put it up there, and or did some. I think he put Instagram post. It was a national troll. Probably the
Yeah.
ultimate. it should go down in history as one of the best trolls ever, right?
Yeah.
Which sparked kind of this instant following from the Gen Zs, they're saying, right? So basically, on May 16th, on May 15th is when CJI Surya Kant's remarks sparked outrage, right? And then on May 16th, Abhijeet Dipke created this website, the Manifesto, the Twitter account. Immediately on May, like 2 days later, it had like 3 million followers. In like 78 hours, 3 million followers. Okay, on the X. 2 days after that, 20 million Instagram followers. Okay. And then on May 23rd, at the end of that week, basically the government blocks the account at the website. So, it seems typical of how the governments see something like that and say, yeah, kill it. That looks like a nice movement. Kill it. So that's what happened, right? And incidentally, like we picked this up as an episode on we talked about it because I was getting trolled a lot on my YouTube channel. I think I talked to you about this last time. And so I was doing a segment on May 24th, I think, on trolling, and then we talked about the CJP as the biggest troll movement. And so we talked, me and my friend Varun talked about it. But when we talked about it, right, on May 24th, we acknowledge the fact that this is a great movement. It's coming up rapidly. But Abhijeet was still in Boston. I'm like, this guy's not going to go to
anywhere
India.
Close.
Yeah, he's not going to go to India. He's going to get arrested if he goes to India. The Indian government just shut down the website, the X. So that's a sign that they're not going to tolerate this kind of nonsense from cockroaches coming out. I mean, their piff paff is like block everything, right? So basically, I didn't think he would come at all. I thought this. We both talked about this will probably just fizzle out. But like a month later,
why didn't it fizzle out? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I want to ask you, Nitin. Why? Because because you know this better than others, and you have you touched upon the education issue in India, right?
Last I think 2 months it's been like a screwed up scenario.
Yeah,
but good.
So no, but that I think that's one of the reasons. There's so many things happening that they can't keep quiet. So I didn't expect Abhijeet Dipke to be coming into Delhi, with a red book in his hand, and then going all the way to Delhi, the first protest that they had. So this online movement then became the protests that we are seeing right now, right? So June 6th, Dipke returns to India for the first protests in Delhi. Yeah.
I mean, to create any sort of movement, right, any sort of change in any organization, you need that one thing called the first follower. Okay, I'm really questioning that. How did he even get that first follower? I mean, to become a first follower, you first you have to put yourselves in the shoes of from a layman perspective, a minion, and you need to find out who your villain boss is going to be like, right? It has to inspire you to do that. And you're telling me that there are many people who got inspired by this one dude who's studying in Boston to actually say that, okay, fine, we will create a website, we will do the Instagram this thing, and we will get you 20 million followers.
Okay, so you're probably asking the same questions the Indian government probably asked or anybody because what is the validity?
I'm not asking the same questions. What I'm colluding to is that, see, what do you think the biggest problem for the government is today?
Biggest problem for which government? Like my government?
Ours.
I can tell you what the biggest problem
part of
is.
that equation, but seriously, I mean, what would be the biggest problem for the government and the political party? It's two different things.
Okay, you tell me.
And the political party. So,
Yeah.
from a political party standpoint, you're always looking at, okay, fine, how do I continue my reign for the next thing, for the next elections? And next elections are when 28, I think 28, right?
Okay. So political parties, their re-election is their biggest worry. So and if you look at the last election, it wasn't all that great for the BJP. Right?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't all
it was
that great.
barely scraping through.
Yeah. So you need so whenever that sort of a thing happens, and you see these events unfurling, CJI says something, the media take a note of that. The media start to light a small flame onto it. That triggers somebody who's studying in the US. Why would something trigger somebody who's studying in the US to actually start a movement, come back to India, and then run that movement? I mean,
so he was not just anybody. Now you touched upon this. Like he had volunteered with the Aam Aadmi Party. He's not just anybody. So he has a political activism background. Abhijeet Dipke is not just anybody, right?
Okay.
So in from 2020 to 2023, he had volunteered for the Aam Aadmi Party social media team, and so he's got a following. He's not. I think he's got the experience to trigger an online social media.
So he can. So he has the.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
If I were to give him the opportunity to come to this podcast, I'm pretty sure it'll grow.
I'm sure. But then,
opportunity to come to like it's his choice. It's like he's waiting for an invite. Oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could get
talk
that
to these
invite.
two bozos. Yeah, let's go. Let's tell them what we're about.
Yeah, but someday he will beg to come on this podcast.
He will thank us.
Yeah. So he did come up with that, but he's a communication strategist. The guy is well spoken. Like I've seen his interview when he was in Boston, and I saw his interview 6 days ago after he had reached his hometown. So he flew into Delhi, went to this protest, the first protest on June 6th. And then after that protest, which was really big, a lot of people from different places came in, the Janta Party. Yeah. And then he went to Mumbai and went to his hometown. And this was his interview once he reached on that day. So he was sought after by all these reporters. One of the questions by the reporters, which I also wondered, is, what are your parents saying, right? Like, aren't they afraid? So he said he called his parents when he was on the flight or getting on the flight, saying that, hey, I'm prepared to be arrested as soon as I land in India. Okay. The guy was prepared, and he told him so. But he was saying, but that's the cost of it. Somebody has to do this to kind of. So I like the fact that he didn't just sit in Boston and do nothing and then just try to do the online thing and think, okay, this movement will spark somebody to come. Because I talked about the Vijay movement, right? On May 24th, when I was talking to Warren, we were taking examples of various things that have happened. We talked about Nepal and Bangladesh and all these other things. They all had leaders, right? And I was wondering, okay, if this guy's sitting in Boston, who's going to lead this movement? They're just going to figure it out. But he didn't do that. He came in. So I am proud of the fact that the guy who started the movement and this uprising, again, I'm not talking about what his background is and what his motives are. To me, it seems genuine. Was willing to put his life on the line to come back to India and join these protests. And then after Jantar Mantar in Delhi, Pune, Amritsar, and today was Karnataka. Bangalore had a large protest, and more people are joining this, like celebrities. So It is growing.
I mean, if you're not, see, if you need to make change in India, okay, fine, you can begin grassroots upheaval or, revolution or whatever you want to call it right now. But at the end of it, you need to move the government machinery to make it possible, right? And a, in every election, that's almost the same thing that everybody says that, yeah, we will change what the earlier government has been doing. But at the end of it, what happens in about 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of that administration actually taking over, nothing changes. Matter of fact, they professionalize how to not deliver those promises again and again. Professionalize. I mean, what I mean by professionalize is that they
They
make
go
it
through an
be,
orientation. They
yeah, the
go through an
orientation, like
orientation.
how you should do stuff so that
Yeah.
it never gets done, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, in a place where you have to, so there is a thing called what's that? I was reading something today whereby in India you have a situation where if you are economically backward and you have the option of actually studying in schools that are private schools, there is like a reservation that happens there. Okay. The thing is that people apply for it. People give all of the what's that? The proofs to state that they are economically backward, but the admissions to those schools never happen. Now, in a situation like that, when the government and the law and the execution, everybody knows that this sort of a quota is there, why do I, as a, let's say, economically backward person, have to fight for this right? I mean, it should be automatic, right? So several of these things where people either don't know the law, people want to not be truthful in terms of giving the due that it is that the law gives you that due. Several of these things. I mean, so those aspects of it are also like it leads up to revolution because not revolution, but at least grabbing what
Protests.
is right for you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
At least an
the
outcry.
country,
At least an
yeah,
outcry.
it's an outcry,
Yeah.
but every almost everything that is like this has to be fought for. I mean, how far do you think we are from a situation where you say that the let's say the electricity department, let's say, hikes your base price of base cost of electricity from whatever it is right now to 10 times that, and you have to fight to prove that it is not the right thing. I don't think we're far away from that point, especially because of the privatization that's going to happen right now.
The fact that there should be transparency
Yeah,
in
that is
these
not there.
things.
It gets murkier almost every department of government you start to work with. You figure out that this is not transparent anymore, which means that
Yeah.
I'm disadvantaged just because I'm falling or following the rules,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, transparency is like I was saying. I mean, in the U.S. too, the transparency is getting murkier.
Yeah, I can get that.
Um,
I understand
it's
that.
not come down to the city level, who control the
Administration and
utilities,
bureaucracy.
but it is happening in the markets for sure, right? I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
corruption with how market manipulation is happening.
yeah,
That is, in a way, affecting us. But to have, I think the fundamental point is that we are having to fight for things which we are rightfully
entitled to.
entitled to, and that's yeah, definitely in India in these issues, but across even job market right now, I think there's a lot of that same thing happening, right? It's
See,
harder and
then,
harder to prove
yeah,
that hey, we're doing this because we are entitled to do this. This was our responsibility or whatever it is, and but it's easier to kind of blur those lines these days,
yeah.
because everything has to be proven.
Yeah, see, that is the problem, right? I mean, why does it have to be proven if it's already in the rule book and if it's the way that you're supposed to do things? For example, the recent case for CBSE. CBSE's case is a failure in governance. Now, who governs the CBSE? The central board. I mean, it has to be, your education minister and all of that. There, you want to introduce a new system. Now, you and I both are on the IT side, right? If you want to introduce something into production, a new system that changes business workflows, what do you do first? I mean, before you get into production, you gotta test this thing.
Test it, quality check, yeah.
That never happened. And why didn't that not happen? Because the guys who were supposed to do them, because they didn't have the capability of doing it. They're not. It's not a professional company that you get awarded that contract to. Why didn't you do that? Because you took the standards of what that solution should do. You you drew the standards down.
Yeah.
I mean, for what sort of a person does that? Just to get your friend's business in there, you let that standard drop. Obviously, if you're administering an exam or a group of exams in upwards of 100 centers, catering to at least 2.5 million kids across India, as well as every other place where the CBSE runs exams outside of India, also, right? You don't expect failure to happen. I mean, these are
Yeah. I
checking
mean,
software.
you have to scrutinize the heck out of it,
Yeah,
right?
but
So the
so now,
CJP is asking for that guy's resignation,
yeah,
and
but and
so
the government is least bothered about it.
yeah, the
They're saying
government
that he
is
didn't do anything.
basically what I read was that the government. So for for context, who doesn't know about this, right? So CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, is got about five. They've got about five manifestos on their thing. But the first one that they're really rallying for right now is the resignation of the education minister, right? And that is their biggest thing. And all these protests that we are seeing across India since June 6th, from Delhi to Amritsar to Pune to now Bangalore, and it's supposed to. These are peaceful protests, right? Again, they're very categorically calling it peaceful. They want to make sure this is peaceful, right? They don't want any violence erupting out of this. There are cops, there are officers out there trying to make sure that there is no riot breaking out. So it is very important for them to call it peaceful and maintain it as peaceful. And their one request to the government demand is to have this guy, education minister, what's his name, Dharmendra Pradhan.
Pradhan.
Yeah, Dharmendra Pradhan to resign. And the government of India basically hasn't said anything about it. They have not acknowledged it. They're still calling it, this is like an anti-national movement. There are foreign parties involved in this. The typical playbook of
Typical
any
playbook. Correct.
government, which is basically trying to devalue this movement, to paint it as something that is either coming out of the other party or from Pakistan or wherever else. Again,
I mean,
Pakistan. They were
it's
all being called
it's almost
Pakistanis.
always them.
Why? Just leave them alone. They've got their own issues dealing with the Iran war and the conflict and trying to negotiate a deal with Trump. Let them do that first and figure that out, right? They're probably busy. So,
Yeah.
and they're probably not even focused on this right now. But that's what the government is doing. And one thing I read was that there is they do this shuffle in the government, in the cabinet, right? So they're going to maybe shuffle this guy out, not in terms of conceding to the movement, but in terms of just, we've got the shuffle coming up, and they might do that. So there is this, typical playbook stuff where they're not going to say education minister did anything wrong,
Yeah.
but they'll shuffle him out, right? So maybe
Yeah,
that'll do something.
So, I mean, here's the thing, right? Asking for the resignation of the minister is great, but like in normal management terms, right? If you have a problem, I don't expect only that you raise the problem. I expect a solution also. So if that also happens to be the government's responsibility to find out whom to replace now, that's going to be problematic because who else do you have, right? You need to really figure out that. I mean, if you put the finance minister in charge of education, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So be careful what you ask for, right? So
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, demanding a resignation and getting it in one way or the other, whether it is through a resignation or a shuffle out, is just part of the problem. It doesn't solve the core issue of the problem,
yeah,
right? It's just in some sort of a accountability or a win in terms of what has happened with CBSE, what has happened with NEET, you know, somebody to blame, somebody to take the fall, but that itself is again a normal playbook stuff.
yeah,
We
but
tend to forget it. What happens after is really
yeah,
the part we don't know.
we don't know. And I mean, because see, for us to actually be sort of satisfied with, okay, fine, you will change the education minister. You need to be also satisfied that there will be some grassroots level changes that will be brought about into the education as well as the
Yeah.
employment markets. These two things are more key because we don't really see that happening. Because I mean, I have kids who are going to school, right? And for them, if you look at it, while there is changes to the syllabus almost every year since the last 3 years, right? First they decide that okay, fine, we'll bring in mandatory new language in place. Then they realize that oh shit, we don't have the books that you need to take the mandatory language in place. And then they realize that okay, fine, let's introduce a third language also into them. Then we realize again that the people who are supposed to teach the new languages, they're not there in school. So all of this opens up another can of worms, which is that okay, fine, do you have the infrastructure that is required to actually execute this thing on the ground? You don't. I remember there was I think was it tomorrow is the 15th of June, right? I'm just an example of how governance and government work, right? So in Kerala, there was before this current government came into place, one of the items on the manifesto of the new government was that all the women in Kerala would be allowed to fly freely on the buses, on government buses, ordinary or whatever it's called. So
Yeah.
the press took out a feedback one day before the execution, right, of that policy to actually figure out whether there will be an issue with the private operators and the state buses. Because in Kerala you have state buses also that run and you have the private
Private
operators.
ones. Yeah.
And the private operators are very cool. Like, no, nothing is going to happen here. We don't expect any, issue in terms of the numbers we are expecting people to actually come into our buses. We don't have that situation. So
So they didn't
even if
expect
you
all the
take
women to just go away.
yeah, that's not going to happen because those number of buses you don't have in the state
because
government.
state government doesn't have those
Yeah,
many
exactly.
buses, so you have to
So
rely on the ones that is available. Yeah.
yeah, obviously that's going to happen, right? So this is exactly what's happening in any other sector that you look at. If you
So
don't
yeah.
have what is entitled to you by way of government promises, obviously you will still do what you need to do to get your stuff done. Which is that even if it means to pay a little bit more, I'll do that and I'll get my stuff done because at the end of it, I have to get it done. I can't keep the government, you know. So
Yeah.
this is what people are looking
Yeah, when
at.
they make these promises too, they have to be realistic, right? So again, going back to asking for stuff and then not really seeing through how it's going to be implemented and how this is going to turn into something valuable to change the system.
Yeah,
It's just blanket immediate satisfactory goals, for
correct.
but then
It's
they
been
want
like
to
that
move
for a
out.
long time.
Yeah,
See,
so yeah.
So when somebody like a Cockroach Janta Party suddenly wake up and then say that, oh, okay, fine, we will create a movement and then we will come, like I'm very skeptical because I don't think they are aware of what grassroots political system we have built over the last 80 years, or 70, 76 years. Because that thing, to weed out the kind of injustices or you know uh, how do you say this, well architected, well oiled machinery that the government currently has in place, and then replaced with something that is actually doable, is going to take another at
Yeah.
least 30 years.
Yeah.
uh, See,
So they know, and they know that just like the private bus owners, like the
yeah,
government's like, yeah, we've seen this before.
we've seen
Nothing's
this
going to
before,
happen.
exactly, right?
Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's gonna happen. So,
But let me tell you this though, it is still impressive that Gen Zs came out and they're not giving up on the protests, right? Uh, More and more activists are joining them. Maybe it is a an opportunity for somebody. I'm not talking about political parties, like someone else, somebody who can be at least further the cause, right? You need true leadership, right? I think the problem what I hear now and what I heard from Varun when we talked about it on May 24th, the same thing. We are still skeptical about this. It's just the Gen Zs; they will lose that momentum, and then maybe they will not know, they don't have the experience working against this well-oiled machine. You cannot also be complacent like the older, non-Gen Zs, the older people who have seen this well-oiled machine screw people left, right, and center all these years, and
yeah.
they said, yeah, this is the way it is. So the complacency, like this is also a fight against the complacency that they might see in their parents and their older generations. So
I
how do you think these guys will, without proper leadership, I think it's very hard to see where this goes, but I also don't want to downplay it as this one of those things that the machine is going to kill them.
I mean, so whatever has happened, right? You have the Cockroach Janta Party, and you don't call them a political party immediately right now. But I think if it has to have a fever and if it doesn't fizzle out in the next 6 months, I give it 6 months, right? If in 6 months this thing doesn't become like an alternative party with a better name, sorry, but Cockroach won't sell
They won't
in the
get
general
it.
scheme of
They
things.
won't, the Election
Exactly.
Commission of India is not going to say, yeah, cockroach is reserved for you.
Yeah, like
They have
you'll
to come
find
up with
all
a better
sort of
party.
animals, and yeah, so they have to come out with a better this thing. So otherwise, they need to get aligned into one of these parties
Yeah, which is where that
to make it
gets
come.
difficult.
That's where it gets
Because,
murky. Then
see,
whoever Abhijeet Dipke is, he will not be able to sustain this ideological campaign against the machine that he is aligned to.
yeah,
It'll be very difficult for him, especially because of the difference in opinion, even at leadership level within parties today.
yeah,
So that's how you have factions break
yeah,
in. I mean, if you look at the Indian political system, that's an obvious scenario that's going to happen. So
yeah.
Congress is saying, so
Yeah, the other aspect to this is you need more youth in the government. You need more young minds coming in, right? So
right,
maybe this is just a test bed to find out who are those people who can make change in government in certain roles, right?
yeah,
Again, going back to the Vijay movement, how it came about, like, it's the again the youth that he inspired, and his him as a young politician, now actor turned politician, who is now
mm,
fighting with the old archaic ancient culture, and
mm,
whatever. That was the win, right? It is against the new versus the old, right? The young versus
mm,
the ancient. maybe this is all that, because when I listened to Abdi, his first interview, I think, when he landed in Mumbai after the Jantar Mantar protest on June 6th, he was saying he's not calling. They're asking when are you going to form the party. He's saying I don't care about the party. I don't want to be affiliated with any party. I'm not going to meet any party people because I don't want to seem affiliated to anybody. This is a movement. We have a demand. This will continue to be a movement, issue-driven movement. So in a way, I like that, because like you were alluding to, the machine will swallow them whole if they even try to enter it through one of its kind of smaller factions, right? That's what we have seen with the Aam Aadmi Party. It got corrupt, right? Any other party, either they have to affiliate towards it. The politics of it is very, very ugly. They want to stay as a movement, and maybe that movement is just to rise the next level of political talent that might change India's political landscape.
Yeah, and I mean, there are very high chances. But then, how do you sustain a movement that doesn't pay? I mean, Gen Z.
Cockroaches eat just sugar, right? They eat sugar water or something. Can they not live on sugar water?
A lot of people wear that. I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, these guys have to get to work. Like right now, you're hearing about,
and we don't have work.
Some parents joining the protest. They're probably saying, the kid has nothing to do. We're not getting anywhere. He's not getting a job. And AI is coming, killing us. So all that, you're right. At some point, will Abhijeet Dipke continue studies in Boston, go back to Boston?
Correct.
Or all these other people who are in this, they're all hurt by what has happened right now in India in terms of education. Very hurt.
Yeah.
They don't want, right? So the passion is there. They're coming out in numbers, but they're going to have to go somewhere and eat something and make a living, make some money.
Yeah.
So when that happens, all the activism dies, because now the corporate world sucks you in. If that's a corporate
either
world,
the corporate world or reality sets in. When reality sets in, activism sort of takes a backseat, because you can be an activist till the time that your tummy starts to growl. I mean, after that, like, screw activism. I might as well get my next,
this is why you and I are not activists, because we have our priorities completely off. Again, we are very skeptical from our point of view that we've got to maintain our health.
Yeah.
In order to protest, we need energy. For energy, we need food. For food, we need money. And if we go after money, we cannot protest.
Exactly. So it's very clear. So at the beginning of my college studies, right? I mean, back in Kannur, and Kannur is known for political activism by the CPM.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Kerala.
Kerala. In college, you have political parties and all that, like full on, right? That's the first.
I wanted to ask you about this. Actually. You've seen protests,
I've seen protests. So I've sat in some protests, and not because I wanted to. I was like, oh yeah,
food. They were providing tea and biscuits. They were providing tea and biscuits. You went for the tea and the biscuits.
Then you come in. So you sort of have seen that part of the scene also. You know how exactly this works. So I'm not very surprised when people say, money for votes and things like that. Yeah, fine. If you can do chai and biscuits for votes, this is not a situation.
Last week we said progress is the ultimate enabler for AI, right? Because I'm going to say progress and accomplishments and the civilized way of living is also the killer of movements where you don't want to give away your comfort level for this, right? And that is complacency, really, in a way.
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough, right? jokes aside, that is the biggest skepticism, right? CJP is 23 million right now in terms of Instagram followers. Their issues have grown, like on their website. On May 24th, when I looked at it, it was about, I don't know how many, 2,000 issues, 2,000 odd issues. Now it's about 3,000 odd issues. So number of issues who people are logging in is going up. I asked on that day, who's looking at those issues?
Yeah.
Like, somebody's got to go through that list of issues. Great, you're logging in, it's a number, but then what are you doing with it?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the page of the Cockroach Janta Party right now, and I'm at a section called the Manifesto. I'll read their first 5 manifesto points.
5 of them. On May 24th, when I talked to Varun about this, and I looked at it today, it hasn't changed. It's the same manifesto. So at least they're sticking to the 5. They haven't changed. And the first one is making sure the chief justices don't get into political parties, which is fair.
Well, okay. As a post-retirement reward. Why did they do that? I don't understand that. Why target that group?
I don't know specifics about those issues. We can ask Claude. Claude would know.
Sure.
But the point is, that was their number one, because they don't want that. Chief justices always should be impartial, and they shouldn't, even post-retirement, they should not be affiliated to any sort of political party in any manner. They shouldn't have that option, to make sure that they don't favor judgments early on with that in mind.
How come no one has raised this in
That's a good question,
or parliamentary communities or something like that? Why only this thing? Because I'm sure that there are other people in the bureaucratic side, IAS, IPS also, who get moved into Rajya Sabha and things like that. They also have the option of going there. So then why single out the CGI? But
I mean, the CJI singling out might be because Surya Kant started this, and I also question the fact I never knew about this sort of political affiliation, or even the opportunity for CJIs, Chief Justices of India, to do this. I didn't know that. I'm surprised that you don't know it, because you live in India and you might have seen this. But here's a deeper context. So basically, they're saying if the CJP comes into power, Claude knows. No chief justices shall be granted a Rajya Sabha seat as a post-retirement reward. Why is this number one? Former CJI Ranjan Gogoi was nominated to the Rajya Sabha by the president in 2020, just months after his retiring as chief justice. So he's been one of the 5 justices who delivered the political sensitivity on Ayodhya and other things. The nomination was widely seen at a time as a reward tied to that verdict, or the Ayodhya verdict, right? Which is exactly the verdict. Yeah, so they are, again, none of this is proven, but it seems coincidental that he got that. And so that's what they're calling this out. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I thought you would know.
Because they're calling this out, that means, and they have an issue with the verdict that happened with Ayodhya. I mean, if you put 2 and 2 together, kind of,
they're against the BJP for sure.
Exactly, right. So it's not against establishment; it's against one single party.
Which is a good point, because they need to show that not all parties, other parties, have equally been bad. So they can't also CJP cannot be seen as leaning on one against one, because then that is automatically leaning towards the other. So, again, when Abhijeet Dipke said 6 days ago that he is not going to meet any political party people, so that means nobody from the Congress, nobody from any party, nobody from BJP. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. That is not, he's saying, we are issue driven, we have an issue, we don't want to talk about, we don't want to be seen as affiliated to anybody. Now that's what he's saying, right? Again, skepticism is, he has been associated with the Aam Aadmi Party before, so he might have some affiliations already, right? But to your point, I think he should equally go after something that the Congress has done, maybe to kind of balance the scales there.
Correct.
But again,
Because
BJP has been in power for so long that people even forget what the
that
Congress did. I don't know.
exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the other problem,
So
right? Like when you have parties in
yeah,
power for so long,
yeah.
you kind
So you
of
only see the things that have happened in
yeah.
your. So we have a problem of short-term memory. We
Yes,
only remember this much.
I
We
have
don't
had.
remember what happened before that.
I don't remember what happened yesterday, so that's
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a real thing.
So
Okay.
it's a real thing.
And
So
so,
yeah,
so
that
if you look at number four on this list also, I mean, number three is more like, women shall receive 50%.
that one is the one that is just put in there because they have to say it.
I
To me,
think
it
so too, because
almost feels like that's like a general one that everybody puts in.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Again,
we'll
if
see.
any, so fun fact, right? In the last 1 week, I heard of a news where you remember the West Bengal, or rather the Bengal elections, right?
Hmm.
Where the BJP is now in power, right? So
Hmm.
the actual EVMs that were used for the voting at that time,
Mm.
so they were
Electronic
stored in
voting
a
machines, yeah.
yeah,
Electronic
the
voting
electronic voting
machines, yeah.
machines. So they were stored at a place. Okay, it's a huge go down things. All of it went up in smoke.
I think I
You,
saw this, or maybe it was in some movie too. It was kind of reflected in a movie.
I know, right? But how does that suddenly just like it's almost as if shit. Oh, we lost it. So you can't do any forensics on those things. You don't know if it's been
I mean,
tampered
all
with. Nothing. Cool.
politically, like what happens in India is like very extreme sometimes, right? To kind of get it.
Yeah.
But back
So
to the manifesto, I think, yeah. What was the second one on their list?
the second one is like if any legit vote is deleted. So this is
So this is
why I
vote
triggered
deletion.
that.
Oh, okay,
Huh.
okay, okay. Well,
See how
deleted and going up in flames, two different things. So maybe
two different things, but now you can't prove even if it was deleted, right?
maybe they should add deleted, or if it goes up in flames.
Then it's pretty obvious what happened here.
I mean, you got to get the legal guys in saying, okay, for India, deleted is still an open-ended term. Yeah, we didn't delete it. We just set it on
Yeah,
fire.
we set it on fire, and we had nothing to do with it. By the way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
number four on this thing is very, very nice. Okay, all media houses owned by Ambani and Adani shall have their licenses cancelled to make way for truly independent media. Bank accounts of Godi media anchors shall be investigated. I mean, seriously, if that
I mean, there'll be
that is
no
saying a lot.
media left, no mainstream media left in India.
There is
Everything is
no
owned by one
everything.
of these two. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you have the
and
independent podcasters. So maybe that's good for us. If you continue to do this with me, maybe.
I need to order
I don't
that
know if
book.
that's, huh? The
I need to order that book.
Ambedkar book. You
Yeah.
should just try walking in with that. I mean, that should get you arrested.
Yeah.
Any red book is going to get you arrested.
Yeah.
But so this media thing and freedom of speech, this is a big issue, right? It is not just in India; it's all over the world. Freedom of speech and independent media, journalism is taking a hit. Nobody trusts anything anymore, which is why the rise of independent media, independent podcasters, are are what most people tune into now. Like, do you get your news from media anymore? Do you trust the media to kind of even say it's always biased?
Not
They sound biased.
not mainstream.
And India, the bias is blatantly visible.
Oh,
They don't even hide it.
no, they don't hide it. I mean, if anybody watches reporter news, you know where that guy is going. So, oh man,
So all of
that's
them,
that's a piece of work.
so that
That's
is a true
everybody.
issue, but that is a global issue which I think everybody's grappling with, and that doesn't also mean the independent media podcasters they themselves also get influenced by not the Adanis and the Ambanis of the world. They get influenced by celebrities and all that. There's a lot
Correct.
of bias,
There
regardless,
is.
right?
There will be.
Simple thing like you watch a movie, it's a shitty movie, but then everybody raves about it. it's already a mega hit before anybody got out of the theater, because it's already been. So it's a simple example of how every sort of person, for their own gain, right, they will be biased. So I don't know how that particular manifesto is going to even. It's good to write, but then you go to freedom.org, the the global website. They've been writing about it all. They can't do anything about it. UN cannot. Can do anything about the freedom. Like, journalists are getting killed in Lebanon, right? By Israeli troops. We've seen that in Saudi Arabia. Like, this is a bigger problem, and I don't know if India is going to solve this, or CJP is going to solve this in India in any manner. So that one is the one that I think is the one that, there's nothing they can do to change that.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, this manifesto also is very. It's like, it's very emotionally, it has come out very emotionally motivated. It's not carefully thought out and actually list down how will I do these things. It's not professionally made.
Is there anything about education in there? There's not even one thing about education in there.
No, nothing. So you're very clear that that's nothing. No, nothing.
Yeah, and the first thing that they're going after is the education minister. So already,
no, but it doesn't say in the manifesto. It's just I think sort of thing.
It's what that they'll get more momentum on.
Yeah, exactly, because they know that this is lighting up in Instagram and this thing. The CBSE need so the anger is there. They know that, and you need to be able to capitalize on it. And they know that the government is not going to respond on this also. So this becomes one of the points to actually take forward, right? So
if the CJP's manifestos if CJP is about Gen Zs, education is a Gen Z issue. It's a Gen Z issue.
It's a Gen Z
Makes
issue.
sense. So they use that. Correct. Yeah. Their manifesto should be completely rewritten, I think, as a Gen Z set of issues. So that's why I go back to that number of issues that they have logged. If you see on the site, it's like 3,000 something, right? Issues.
Yeah.
Somebody has gone in and typed in a form and here's my issue. I don't have a job. I need tea and biscuits. I don't have money. Whatever it is. There are 3,000 issues. Who is going through those issues? Those issues might have been coming from the CJP's core crowd, which is the Gen Zs. That should be converted into some sort of manifesto.
I like the eligibility criteria for membership. So the first eligibility criteria is that you're unemployed.
Which you and I can become soon, so I think we can qualify. Yeah.
But they don't put they don't.
There's no age limit.
They don't put. Sorry.
There's no age limit.
Yeah, there's no age limit. So that is fun. Okay, and lazy, perfectly there. Chronically online, could be. And can rant professionally. Those two last ones are the ones that are the strength for them, if you ask me, because there's nothing else that quite
so we've got 3 out of 4. Yeah, we've got 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 easily. Yeah, we could do
this. We are ranting professionally here. Right? This is a professional rant.
Will they pay us professionally though? That's the question.
Nothing about money.
Nothing about money. So you can be a member. Well, so it's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
So in a situation like that, do you really feel that Gen Z, I mean, your proper Gen Z who've been educated, let's say, till the 11th or 12th, do you really think that they would be attracted to this sort of a thing?
I mean, not for long.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is going to fizzle out eventually. You're giving it 6 months, maybe. Again, the numbers are important. The growth that they saw initially to 22 million, 20 plus million, now it's slowed down to about 23 million. I think that's the peak. It's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to move beyond that.
And again, at this point, it's not going to be about how many followers you have on Instagram or not.
That was never a metric.
Yeah, but that was the metric that kind of started this all. Now it's how many people are showing up for protests, right? So that's the new metric, right?
That has to be the new metric.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
But
you
how do
won't
you
sustain
continue
this.
that? How do you continue that? They're not going to come out and protest all the
They
time.
don't have any other option but to either align with a political party or get into politics on their own.
Yeah.
Politics on your own, you need cash. And for cash, you need business. And business needs to be able to support you. Cash doesn't come from people who are like you and me. Because you and me, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We are
That we're
we're
special.
we're, we're special. All right. To wrap this up, right? On May 24th, when I first talked about the CJP, a week after they formed, I asked a few questions skeptically. Is it genuine or is it just AstroTurf? What do you think? Is this genuine?
I think the place where it comes from, that is genuine.
Okay.
That I understand. That I can understand because your survival is in question. If you were a young person starting out your career and you're witnessing everything that has happened in the last 14 years with the Modi government and no other opposition actually being able to sort of break through for things that you believe in, employment creation, taxes are going higher, new rules are coming in, new regulations are coming in. Everything is sort of, while India paints itself like growth is at 6% or 7%, but that growth is not translating into how it helps me as a young person in 26.
Yeah.
Right? The place where this angst is coming from, I totally think it's genuine. That is a given.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how do you sustain this? That is the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So is it genuine or AstroTurf? I mean, in terms of, is it politically motivated? Is it a fake movement? I think it's genuine, like you said. It is coming from a genuine problem, a genuine sentiment, a genuine passion.
Yeah.
Forget about Abhijeet Dipke's background and what he did before. He was able to create this, and then it's blowing out into protests. 1 month in, we are seeing it protests increasing. We'll see what happens in month two, but it's definitely a genuine movement. It is not, I would say, PR driven or anything like that. It could turn into something like that later on when they have no other ground to play, and then they might see more PR driven. They might go meet political parties. I think all that might change when you don't have the movement sustaining, like you said. So right now, yeah, I would say it's genuine. Um, One thing I asked is this just going to be an internet presence, or that will there be any ground game? They proved me wrong a month, 1 month in. Abhijeet did be walking in with the red book, and then now these protests proved me wrong that yeah, this is not just Abhijeet, some guy sitting in Boston, going to try to continue to incite this movement. There is true leadership now, at least for the protests. Abhijeet Dipke is front and center. There are other people, activists, even some celebrities like Prakash. There are people coming in different cities. Parents are coming out. Kids are coming out. So there is definitely a ground game right now. So they did prove me wrong a week in where I thought this would not have a ground game. It does have a ground game. Okay.
Okay.
No, tell me why does that not satisfy you?
I was just going through their, the web page again, and there was the vision statement, and the vision statement is slightly disturbing. Okay, so our mission, I mean, to be sure, right? So the vision is we are not here to set up another PM Cares holiday in Davos on taxpayers' salary slip or rebrand corruption as strategic spending. We are here to ask loudly, repeatedly, in writing, where the money went. Okay. Now the mission: build a party for the young people who keep getting called lazy, chronically online, and most recently cockroaches. That's it. That's the mission. The rest is satire. That one last sentence. The rest is satire. Okay, that sort of. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, even they're not building a party; it's a movement. I mean, they call it a
Yeah.
party, but this is not a party. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
but they do say we want to build a party again. How is that going to be possible without
Exactly.
affiliating towards a party? Is going to be the key thing. So yeah, there's a lot of contradictions there. Keep it satire, keep it satirical. Like comedians get away with this all the time. They are able to use satire to prove points.
Yeah.
So maybe all of these Gen Z should be stand-up comedians because they seem to do satire really well.
I agree.
23
might have our
million
work cut out for
stand-up
us.
comedians.
Just to set the record straight, maybe the next Sunday draft that we have, let's invite a Gen Z person and then ask what he thinks.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah. Two things. What you said makes me happy. You want to do the next Sunday draft, and you are already thinking ahead.
I got a land in Pune with the book, man.
Okay. All right. Moving through the list of things I asked on May 24th, will Abhijeet actually show up or run this from Boston forever? He showed up. Respect.
Yeah.
Showed up with the red book, told his parents, I might get arrested, meet me in jail or Jantar Mantar.
Depending on where you find me.
I mean, I don't know what the parents were thinking. Where should we book our flight to? Which jail will he be taken to? Poor parents, man. Parents have to go through all this.
Yeah.
Does it have a real leader like a Vijay? Even Varun and talked about Zelensky as a satiric comedian turned politician and who's successful in whatever he's doing in Ukraine right now. So you're not talking about geopolitics today. Yeah, politics. Yeah. But success in two different ways, right? So Vijay, Zelensky, whoever else. Does it have a real leader right now? I still say no.
Yeah.
We have spokesperson, who are, Abhijeet Dipke, a couple of other people you can see in TikTok videos and, Instagram reels and YouTube. You can see them speaking out, good, eloquent kids. Then now you have activists coming. Again, they're all people who are joining the movement as a protest, showing many of them have their own agendas for sure. Right? Yeah. They're affiliating themselves towards their own kind of agenda, even if they don't want to. Like, Abhijeet Dipke says, I don't want to go and meet anybody, but people are coming to him.
Yes, exactly.
Right? The affiliations are coming to him. He's not affiliated, coming to him. Agendas are coming in, so I would say no real leader. I think that is the biggest issue for wherever this is going. Will it register as a party? The cockroach name problem?
Yeah. They need to really find out a better name if they want to be serious in the political landscape. And
election nominations
count.
Yeah.
Because, to run a political party in India today is not just ideological affiliations. It means money in the bank. If you don't have money in the bank, you can't run these large-scale, what did we call them? Protests and rallies and things like that. You can't run them.
Yeah. Outcries.
Yeah, outcries. You could outcry on Instagram, but then you're well fed on Instagram. You can't do that in the real world.
Yeah.
So
they will have to register as a party if they want to be a party. But then he says, I don't want to be a party. I don't want to be affiliated. So there's contradiction right there.
Contradiction.
The cockroach name will not stand. The Election Commission of India is not going to take that name. Now, if you remove that name, will it really have the movement? So the movement has to live separately. And the name, too many things.
Yeah.
Like you said, affiliations have to come in. They can't just go in. Like they have to show that they have some MPs backing it. So that's a mixed bag. So that's an iffy thing. And the moment it turns a party, I think it'll change and everything changes. Right? This becomes
everything changes then. Because then you have to play by the rules, and the rules were set up much earlier.
And it might be the Aam Aadmi Party all over again.
Yeah, exactly. So
tough for them to do that.
Yeah.
Money, co-options, risk. Ambani, Adani, like you said very clearly, they need the money. Not only as a party or a movement, maybe now they're getting enough somehow. Maybe the activists will start generously offering some money, but then the money in terms of these kids, they have to go and find work eventually.
Exactly. So the deal with money is that while business houses can actually fund you, they expect something in return. So you should be
Yeah.
able to provide that as well, and be able to at least uh, uh, give the progress in terms of what their vision stands for in coming elections to be able to sustain this entire thing. So I don't think we've thought that far yet. So
One thing this came to me, like, even going to a protest is a job killer, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's
Historically, like, why did we go?
the
Why did you and I not go for protest? Because we didn't want to lose our job.
yeah. I mean, health is
Prospect of
important,
a
man.
job. We don't want that CEO or
Yeah,
the HR or
yeah.
now it's
To
even
find out.
more like,
So,
yeah, they look at
so
Instagrams, they search online
yeah.
what we be doing. Yeah. So these kids have a real problem there.
Well, so that's why I said, right, I think we need to talk to one of them to actually figure out, and somebody who's like connected with this thing as well, to figure out how they feel. Because I could check in with a couple of kids who work with us, but yeah,
Yeah, check with
might send the
somebody, but
wrong
then
signal.
check with somebody. But the thing is, their passion is going to show, right? I mean,
Passion is
Gen
going to show.
Zs right now, they're triggered, their passion is triggered, all that, passion is going to show. But will they really think ahead? I mean, again, what we see, the issues we faced in getting a job, or trying to position ourselves as academically, or in terms of our social presence, and we didn't have
Hmm.
that much of a problem because we didn't have social media to deal with. We were not
Yeah.
out there. I mean, I had blogs, but then nobody read blogs then.
I, I don't think we had enough knowledge of how the system worked back then, and which
Yeah,
was
so we
probably one of the better
yeah,
things
to
that
get a
happened to
job.
us.
But then now we are in a position where we are good.
Yeah,
We might lose jobs because of AI
yeah,
and the industry. Um, Again, yeah, it's going to be tough for them.
yeah. I mean, I want to. Are you okay with the all of the questions that you wanted to ask? I want to point
Um,
something.
uh, I think, yeah, will this die out as an online fad? I It's still too early to say. It can die out in a matter of months. So we'll see. This might just
Yeah,
be an online fad. Um, and the government, how they're not going to concede. You know, yeah, that's it. I don't have any other questions, sir. I think that
yeah.
kind of
I,
sums up where we are
I
at. Yeah.
think I think from a government perspective, there's a very high chance that it could be deflected. This entire thing could be deflected to something else. And with so many things happening in the geopolitical scenario right now, it's a very easy thing to do. So you can blame everything on the Iran-US, altercation in the Gulf of
Mm.
Hormuz. I mean, in the Strait of Hormuz, and say that, okay, fine. You know what? This is happening. We have to step in, and we'll step in strong.
Mm.
Right. So we're not going to listen to all of this crap that's happening around in the periphery. So because we need to get our stuff done, so we will move forward with what we
Yeah.
have right now. So all of this could get rubbed under the carpet and in the veil of securing national interest. So very high chance that could happen in the next 6 months. And meanwhile, Abhijeet is probably trying to figure out how to get back to the US
Hmm.
to complete
So,
his studies in Boston.
yeah.
Because
So you're
all it
saying
takes is that.
yeah. So the government is going to just deflect it, saying we've got other problems to deal with. Okay, we're not
Yeah,
going to worry about this.
yeah.
We have a shuffle coming up. Maybe
And they don't need to say it explicitly.
they,
They just
they don't
need
have
to
to say.
present a problem to the rest of the Instagram vision, people, and say that, oh, look, this is a new problem we have. And suddenly Instagram takes on this entirely new focus with this new problem rather than what it is right now playing
Hmm.
with. I mean, if
Yeah.
because the attention
Yeah.
span of people have been so limited right now, it is
Hmm.
very difficult to capture this attention span for a longer period of time
Yeah.
unless you're at you know
Yeah. No,
you
that's
have
always the case with online stuff. Is like it doesn't. It's
it
short
doesn't
lived.
last that long.
Um, but The other option is, the data centers you talked about last week. Maybe that's a way to get these jobs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is with jobs primarily. Education is an issue, but then also the next issue I think might be, hey, we don't have jobs. Maybe the government will do something to kind of show that jobs are increasing or Gen
Yeah.
Zs are getting hired again.
But
Anything
again,
to suppress it, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I guess I guess you're right, and hopefully, but
There's a lot going on
let's
that they can
yeah, there's a
just.
lot going on there's a lot going on to derail this sort of rallying and unrest that you rightly call it. So
Outcry. Outcry.
it's possible to be derailed.
Okay.
If you ask
All
me.
right.
So the
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to ask is that, so a neighboring country of ours, right, in Bangladesh, a couple of months back, there was an entire full-fledged coup that happened, and
Mm-hmm.
there also, it started out with youth,
Mm-hmm.
and the unrest was about unemployment. Then you dragged in a little bit of communalism in there, and then you ensured that the sitting government there was exiled.
Yeah. It got violent, right?
It got violent.
Political
Yeah,
coup that came out of a youth movement
correct.
that became not became violent and
So the
exile the
question,
government. Yeah, yeah.
so the
I don't
question
think that's
is,
gonna
there
happen.
also the same words were used, Gen Z.
Yeah. See, that is why they're connecting the two, right? That is the biggest
Exactly.
arsenal in the naysayers right now, or even the political establishment saying, "We've seen this happen. That's why we've got police in riot gear out there. We don't want any of that to happen here. What happened in Bangladesh or what happened in Nepal? I think similarly something happened in Nepal, right?
Yeah.
Um, so they all turned aggressive, to say the least, which is why I think Abhijeet Dipke is categorically saying this is a non-violent, peaceful movement, and there is a very high emphasis on peaceful movement.
Hmm.
Peaceful protesting peacefully. There's a very big emphasis on that in everything that he is saying, everything that the spokesperson who's out of these rallies are saying, uh, what they're getting commended on by the activists and celebrities alike are all saying peaceful, 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 peaceful. Great. You guys have to do this peacefully. So I think there is a big focus on making sure it doesn't turn into that, but it doesn't take too much to turn. Like we've seen movies where protests can turn violent, not because the protesters wanted it to turn violent.
Hmm.
It could be instigated, right? So again, you don't know what's going to happen, right? Protests, assuming protests will say non-violent is also something that people don't believe completely.
Yeah. I mean, they might go walk into the protest thinking it'll be non-violent, but all it
Yeah.
takes is one stone,
One stone, yeah. One stone, one. Yep. So
one tear
that's
gas shell.
yeah. Well, one piff paff.
One pin in this case.
One piff
Culprits.
paff. Good. That comes full circle to
Yeah.
where we ended up with the piff paff and how we used to use it so efficiently when we grew up in the Middle East to get all those cockroaches out. But then more came out. It doesn't stop.
Yes.
You
It
know,
doesn't stop. Because the
they,
problem
they
is never about the more cockroaches. It's about the
yeah.
conditions that you make ripe for cockroaches to actually come alive. So
Exactly.
it's not a cockroach problem.
Yeah, exactly. It was the heat, the building ordinance, the gaps in the walls, the
The
whatever they
trash.
didn't do, the
Yeah.
trash. Yeah. So again, none of it is what it seems, right? So let's see if these cockroaches will survive.
Survive.
Cool, Nitin.
Okay.
That was
Cool.
episode number 2 between the two of us. Second episode between the two of us. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm sure.
That was really good. Recapping because I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really think this movement would be even there to talk about a month later.
Hmm.
So I'm surprised
But
by
it
where
is.
it's ended up going, and then I'm looking forward to how you're going to land in Pune. You're gonna go
I'll
into
let you know when I
Mumbai?
land.
Are you landing in Pune
Yeah,
or Mumbai?
I know I'm landing in Mumbai, and then I'm gonna take a cab.
Right. Yeah. Cab. Oh, okay. How
Yeah.
long does it take from Mumbai? It's fast now, right? There's some like high speed
No, it's not
highway.
fast. It's never fast.
It's never fast.
It's never fast. Don't go there. It's,
Wasn't there like a high
it'll
speed
take me. So I'll tell you how much time
highway?
it's going to take me. It's going to take me 5 hours to cross a 90 to 100 kilometers.
What?
Yeah, it's going to take me 5 hours.
5 hours?
Exactly right. Yeah, 5 hours. Why would it
That
take me
doesn't
5 hours?
for
That doesn't make
100
any
kilometers.
sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why?
It
Because
will
of
take.
traffic. And it's a Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, everybody travels back from Mumbai to Pune. So I'm going to be in one of those cabs, and most likely there's going to be for whatever the government wants to do in terms of creating a missing link road or whatever on the Pune Mumbai expressway. That shit's still going to be crowded, and it's still going to be.
It is the expressway you're talking about.
Yes, I'm talking about
Can
what
they
we call
change
the
the name?
Autobahn in Frankfurt. No, we didn't change the name. I don't think we should call it the expressway anymore.
No,
It
5
doesn't
hours
have
to.
anything to do with express or the way.
Yeah.
So
There's no. You can't take a flight.
I could take a flight. It's a 45-minute flight, but I'd have to wait for that flight till night to actually land in Pune because.
But yeah, this is.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It's a developing economy. So bear with us as we develop.
as we figure out how to develop.
That
All
too.
right. Yeah. All right. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you for joining the Sunday Draft again. And
Yep.
I think you just signed on to be a regular.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to figure out how to do this from India because
Yeah,
when
I'll
you
figure
go
it
to India, your Indian mentality sets in.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
completely different from
Yeah, I know.
one month of how you've been so forward thinking and
Oh,
magnanimous in your time because you have
I'm
time.
sure.
You went canoeing yesterday and then you came
Yeah.
here and then did the podcast, even though you're tired.
Yes.
That only happens in a developed country.
Yeah.
so
Right.
so please stick to your promise, figure out the Gen Z we're going to bring in, and if not next week we'll bring in a Gen Z in the next 6 months or so.
In the next stage first. Yeah.
When-
I think
maybe
by
it's
that
better to
time
bring
even-
yeah
or maybe yeah, you're right. What were you thinking of? Like
I was
bringing
thinking
the
it's
parent
better
of a
to
Gen Z?
no whoever we bring in to talk about this, it should be in a stage wherein the movement is taken like this curve and it's like slowly like
It's
uncertain,
blending
because
in
then
or
you will
fizzling
see
out.
the real passion, right? Then you'll see
Yeah.
not only the passion but also okay what challenges we faced. It'll be
How
good to
serious
kind
those
of
challenges were,
yeah
basically.
yeah. So it'll be good to kind of
Yeah.
maybe next month we'll see. But I don't want to leave the story because it's a really good story of how something like this happens and how it takes flight in India and then how it gets suppressed in India and then in the world of AI and everything, how Gen Zs are affected and what does that mean to all of us, So it's good. So thank you for joining that
Okay.
talk, and I'll see you next week. And thanks for everybody who joined the Sunday Draft. Follow us and subscribe to us. Nitin, are you
Sure.
following and subscribing to this?
Yes.
It starts with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I am.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I'm going to end the
Yeah.
recording now.
Yeah. Sure.
You want to say bye from Frankfurt for the last
Okay.
time?
Bye from Frankfurt. See ya.
Because next time you'll be in India, it'll be dark and gloomy in the back.
Yeah.
Because it'll be night time. I'm not saying India is bad.
It-
India has electricity. I'm just saying
Yes.
the
And
you will
Wi-Fi
be at
and
night.
things like that.
And Wi-Fi. We've got everything.
Yeah.
India is developed from that.
Developed.
It's a growing economy.
Yeah.
But
So growing economy, we have our
you'll be joining at night, which I think you got to figure that out.
I think our time zones are never going to be in the same sort of area when it's daytime. So yeah,
Literally night and day.
it'll be night. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
See you next week. Thanks to everybody for watching this
Yeah.
insightful conversation. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes.
More next week. Bye.
Okay.